We are in Crucible Keep, first fires in Defiance Bay. Exploring. Checking out the place. It's interesting. We found the affidavit, which I suspect is forged. Sure, if we don't need to go speak to everybody. About Penhelm and his lineage. This painting, well, it's not his sole lineage. This painting shows a row of warriors standing atop the walls of Defiance Bay while Eder's ships sail away. The victory they had. Well, when they were kicked out, my homeland also became free too, so... What is this? Worshipper. Religious shrine. This is a symbol of Abaddon, a colossal smithing hammer imposed over a circular gear. It's smooth with and bright with buffing oils. Interesting. Well, I don't think it... Let's go up here. Inspect. Inspect what the place... Perhaps the commander's here.
We just don't have the manpower.
Hello.
Refugees from every corner of the Deerwood. The dozens getting them all riled up about animancy. At this rate, we'll need twice the soldiers to patrol Defiance Bay. Yes? Can I help you with something?
You're in charge of Crucible Knights? Here in Defiance Bay, anyhow. The High Justice is the leader of our order, but he's currently stationed at Fleetbreaker Castle. My job is to oversee our forces in Defiance Bay and to keep order for the Duke. Was there something else I can do for you? Why don't you have enough soldiers?
Fleetbreaker Castle. The High Justice has summoned almost half of my novitiates, and more of my Justiciars to a keep on the other side of New Hailmar. It's not for me to question the High Justice's orders, but it's left us short-handed. And mark me, we're just a couple sparks away from anarchy.
With so many newcomers, can't you just recruit more soldiers? More recruits mean more training, which means more time from experienced soldiers that I don't have. He half turns away from me. Anyhow, I hardly see how this is any of your concern. But if you've got the time to ask me about it, then perhaps you've got the time to do something constructive. Forge Master Dunstan is working with an animancy scholar to build what we're calling Forge Knights, warriors that control our streets without suffering fatigue, disobedience, or fear. Some agitator throws a rock at him, we don't have to worry about things getting out of hand. He's constructed the armor, but we need the scholar's research. Unfortunately, she hasn't been around the last few times my novitiates have checked. Vienna lives with the rest of the Scriveners out in Copper Lane, but I haven't the soldiers to spare for the moment. Go to the Scrivener's dormitory and see if you can find her. When you get the research, just bring it to Dunstan. This is his area of expertise anyhow. Once you've brought him the research, he can sell you any arms or armor if you need. He forges and repairs all of our equipment. You won't find a more capable smith in Defiance Bay. Tell me about the Knights of the Crucible. He crosses his hands behind his back. We're the only professional army in Defiance Bay, or in the Durwood for that matter. We defended the city in Hadrit's day. We've improved our training since then, but Dunrid Rowe can certify that many of our officers come from good Durwoodian fighting stock. Now, we're responsible for patrolling the city and keeping the peace. With so many refugees pouring in from the countryside, that's become more important than ever. Unfortunately, that's earned us enemies, particularly among the dozens and some of the more enterprising families in Defiance Bay. What do the dozens have against you? He snorts. They're demagogues and troublemakers. They forget that Defiance Bay is one of the largest cities in the world and not some frontier outpost. Most of them are mercenaries on a good day and street thugs the rest of the time. Needless to say, they have no patience for law and order. They sound like trouble to me, actually. And they sound like trouble to me from the beginning when we first met them in the city, especially with what Eder and Durance had to tell me about them and what the real original dozens are. Durance was one of them. Tell me about these enterprising families. House Doemel, namely. They're one of the city's oldest noble families and its largest criminal organization. Their patriarch, Gedmar, has been trying to take advantage of the turmoil to expand his operations. We've kept on top of him, and he hasn't been too happy about that. I see. Was there something else I can do for you? That's all. Thank you very much for your time. Goodbye. Alright, so he gave us a job. And actually that could turn out well, because there's a map over there. This map. This map shows the environment surrounding Defiance Bay. Flags mark strategic access points to the city. Well, we met him. It doesn't seem like a bad sort. I think we've pretty much been through everything. There was this room where I noticed it was their barracks. Let's just have a look in there. I am interested about that section of the city taken over by corpses that'll eat you. Are they undead? I'm not sure if they said they were. Sounds like something I could, if I could do that, my name will be well known. That's a lot of coin in it for me afterwards with all the jobs that could present itself. Kind of excited at the thought. Thick grime cakes the bottom of the tub. The towel hanging from the side gives off an awful stench. Sometimes just getting in there and without having to worry about the politics of who we kill and what we kill is refreshing. Although, I mean, I haven't been doing that much killing since I came to since before I came to the Durwood. That wasn't really something I did too often. Now, how do I get... I think I went this way, actually. Time to get out of this place. Eder's a bit of a big guy. I don't seem to have his stamina and strength being able to hold everybody back like he does. Let's go then. Maybe go to the Ducal Palace, try to find what Eder is looking for about his brother, the history. Sounds good to me. Where is... yeah, Heritage Hill. It's to the west of here. We still have to go to Andra's Gift. I think we'll go to Heritage Hill last. Go to Andra's Gift once we've done the little things that we know that we can accomplish, such as returning to that man. Oh, we met so many people. Voice from the past, I wrote down. Dalton. We have to return to him. We have to go to the sanitarium. And we also have to go... there's another place. We've got to go to where the library is. Twice over. We have two people that want us to go there. This is that ruined tower. The hearings on animacy proceed at the Ducal Palace. Little progress is reported. We trust our good Duke will come to a measured, wise conclusion. Well, you know, if the Animancers get tagged with Wadwin's legacy, then the ciphers are next, since we also deal with souls. But we read them and report on them, that we don't manipulate
Politics, infighting, greed, and a shrine to Margaret as well. Her clergy belongs there.
The god you love and hate at the same time, Durrance. That's quite the predicament. We demand to see the Duke. It's just two of them. He's busy. Settle down or you'll feel the back of my blade. Well, I guess that... yeah. Can we go inside? The House Domo still thinks it's the law in the city. I suppose that we can. I don't think we'll get to see the Duke, but... well, they have documents here about the history of the Deerwood that could help. Apparently they do, according to Eder. There's also currently a hearing going on about what to do about animancy. I'm curious to know about that, actually. Welcome to the Ducal Palace. Hello.
Good day, stranger.
The young woman wears a simple but well-tailored uniform. She watches the comings and goings around her with quiet attention. Any news to share, or are you just here to see the Ducal Palace? Who are you? I'm a page here at the palace. I deliver messages and run errands for the Duke and his advisors. The pay is not great, but I can't think of a better introduction to politics. Looking for news? What's the Ducal Palace? It's the seat of government here in Defiance Bay. This is where Duke Admeth Hadrit declared freedom from Adarian rules some 150 years ago. She lowers her voice and grins. It's also a hotbed of regional politics. Trust me, the gossip here beats what you'll find in any tavern or brothel in the city. Well, what goes on here? She laughs. Where to start? We've got meetings, public hearings, and ceremonies, and that's just the stuff that happens out in the open. She leans a little closer. This is where the Duke and his key advisors work, so there's always someone bartering for a favor. Unfortunately, I'm not at liberty to talk about that side of things. But if you want the official version, she clears her throat and gestures counterclockwise around the palace. We have a shrine devoted to Magran, official records, and chambers for public hearings and council meetings. Tell me about the shrine to Magran. It's a symbol of Magran's protection of Defiance Bay. She's represented the revolutionary spirit of the Deerwood ever since independence, and her involvement in creating the Godhammer bomb only affirmed her importance to us. She scratches her neck. That's also where the first of the sacred fires burn. But Ferga, the Tranquil Ardent, has had trouble keeping them lit. What kinds of records are stored here? Mostly dull official stuff, census counts, tax records, militia registers. Now I keep my distance. I got curious one day and got drafted into reshelving half of the records. She yawns. Worst day of my life. Is there a hearing going on right now? Sure is. Duke Avar has been meeting with some of the city leaders for weeks now, trying to figure out how to address the legacy. Wadwin's legacy. The whole business is terribly secret, though. I tried to sit in the gallery during my lunch break one day and got turned away, she sniffs. But a lot of the talk concerns animacy, so there's a good reason they're keeping the meetings behind closed doors. The legacy of Wadwin. Wadwin's legacy. That's what a lot of people call the Rash of Hollowborn. The theory goes that it's punishment for meddling in animancy. Why is the animancy so controversial? She laughs. Where to begin? Traditionalists think it's a crime against the gods. There's no question that poking around in souls is risky, but the more progressive elements believe it's our only shot at restoring healthy births. And it doesn't help matters that animancy research often involves old Engwithan relics that were illegally looted from ruins in Air Glanfath. She makes a quick twitching motion with her index and middle finger. Just explain to me what your take on the Hollowborn. She raises an eyebrow. You really are fresh from the road. Hollowborns are children born without souls. They often don't live for very long, and those that do have generally received some kind of treatment from the animancers. So what do you think about animancy? Me? I think the real danger of animancy is confusing a real scholar with an expensive fake. We get a new case here every day. Some poor couple in the Gift or Copper Lane who spent every copper they had on a miracle cure for their unborn child. It never works. She shakes her head. Breaks your heart, but there's usually nothing we can do for them. I see. Anyway, the legacy is what the politicians have all been whispering about lately. I'd like to talk about something else. Of course, I've always got my ear to the ground. Tell me about the current Duke. That would be Avar Wolfgren. Don't let the title fool you, though. Our dukes have been elected since independence. Some find Duke Avar rather coarse. He's a frontier noble. Personally, I think a rough and tumble type is just what the Defiance Bay needs. Alright, thanks for letting me know everything goes on here. Goodbye. More of those justiciars. Well, I would like to find the records. I wonder if they'll be able to direct me. Hello. Only people with official invitations are allowed to observe the animancy hearings. This is the door and it's locked. I can see the big padded lock. Okay. Well, we're not going in there then. It's this room.
Huh?
Don't know if you can see me, but this looks like a armor storage room. I don't want to take anything. Let's go out. It's not a place for us. So I should close the door. The dwarven one upstairs. They take all kinds then. Oh, this must be the Magran. Most bright Magran transforms us with your flame.
Hello.
The woman's head is bowed as her lips move in prayer. Just as you approach, you catch her glimpsing at the statue near her. She notices me and forces a smile. Praise be to Magran and welcome to her temple. How may I be of service? You seem upset. What's wrong? Her shoulders slump. This is about the fires, isn't it? She puts a hand on my shoulder. They're just symbols. You can't put your faith in them. Slow down. Tell me what this is all about. She sighs. The sacred pyres all around town. You must have seen the statues of the goddess around the city, holding up empty braziers. I've kept them burning steadily for 15 years, but I haven't been able to conjure them for months now, and people need to see them more than ever these days. Oh, yes, the lady at the front spoke about inability to keep them going. So go light them again. I see plenty of flames here. They don't work that way. They're holy fires. It's my devotions and prayers that keep them lit, but lately when I try to pray, all I can think about are the Hollowborn all over the city, the grieving families, the refugees. She shakes her head. How could Magran allow us to suffer like this? What strength do we gain from a soulless child? Durance grunts with disdain. What strength do we gain from adversity, from trial and test? The fires don't wither because she lacks in faith. They wither because she does not understand how to be faithful to a whore. A whore wants neither praise nor devotion. A whore wants to be compensated for her services, and Magran is paid and pleasured in sweat and struggle and pain. This mewling imbecile is unworthy of Magran's womanly heat. Take heart and don't abandon your faith too easily. She nods hopefully, her hands clasped together. You're right, and fortunately I believe Magran's been speaking to me again. She casts a quick glance in my direction. Lately I've been seeing visions, a place in the wilderness with pools filled with sunbursts of color, strange falls that seem to rise to the heavens even while they splash into the earth. It's hard to imagine that. She raises her hands as if framing an image of her vision, and behind the falls is a cave filled with fire and heat and danger, and some token of my goddess. I know there's something there, but where it is or how I'd get there, she shakes her head. I've been meaning to ask around at the expedition hall to see if anyone recognizes the description. To be honest, though, I don't know what I'd do even if I ever found the place. Worthless, like so many of Magran's flock, afraid of her god's tests. If Magran speaks to her, it is to hasten an end to a hypocrite's life, and this vision is surely a death trap to the weak. Wow, you are a downer, Durance. I'd like to know more about the temple here. Magran is the most revered goddess among us Derwidians, so it's no surprise that her temple is part of the Ducal Palace. Her fires symbolize trials, revolutions, and the blazing of new paths, all of which are important to us. She gestures to the statue. This is the first of the sacred pyres. When this is lit, so are the rest around the city. Something else. What's the significance of the sacred pyres? They symbolize Magran's power and guidance, and right now the people of Defiance Bay need to be assured of her presence. She crosses her arms, staring at the statue. Our neighbors in the Valian Republic see us as superstitious, but we're just sensitive to the signs and warnings of the gods. Goodbye. Thank you for your time. I don't know how I can actually help her. But she did have visions. Maybe I can ask about this. If I were to find this item for her, she may be able to resume her duties and resurrect the sacred fires of Defiance Bay. She didn't know where to find the place she saw in her visions, but someone at the expedition hall might know. Well, it's more work. A stone figure of a warrior gazes towards her raised hand. It's empty, but the palm and fingers are blackened. Seems like Magran to me. Well, as far as I can see, there's only one place to go here. Hopefully they'll allow us to keep going. Oh, there's a door that goes off to the left. I don't think they'll allow us in there, though. Oh. Well, maybe he's a record keeper. Hello.
Welcome!
A taciturn man with graying hair pores over a tome he's just withdrawn from one of the shelves. He glances up at me with baggy eyes. Yes, is there something I can pull for you? I'm looking for the militia records from the time of the Saints' War, trying to find out what happened to someone. The man clears his throat. We've had a number of inquiries about such information. I'm afraid we've had to bar access to the public. It seems there are still quite a number of folk in Deerwood who bear ill will toward Reed Sarens. That's my people. It would be irresponsible to surrender the names to just anyone. Many came to settle here as refugees. Yes. Perhaps if you were more established in Defiance Bay, things would be different, but I have no reason to suspect you to be any different from the others. We've come a long way. I just need to find out about my brother. I don't even know what side he fought for. You must understand, I have heard many such stories. I'm afraid there is nothing I can do for you. Farewell. Which means, all the more reason to go to Heritage Hill and clear it out. But if a problem happened like that, it's just strange that the whole district just start eating each other. I wouldn't even know what to think about that. But that should gain me a name. So would killing Lord Radwin. There's too many guards there. I do think about it often. I want to go back. Unfortunately, it just seemed to be too much. Well, as far as I can see, there's really only one other place out here, and it's getting late. Eder, it looked like you have something on your mind.
Hey. Strange place for a shrine to Abidan, Crucible Keep. Maybe it made more sense at some point before it gathered all that dust. The only thing the Knights of the Crucible worship these days is the nobility, as far as I understand it.
I knew some soldiers who got recruited by the Knights after the war was over. They told me some about it. They get these young kids in there and they tell them about the blacksmithing and about the revolution and about tradition. Talk about the golem like he created the Crucible Knights in his forge to go win Deerwood's independence. Then they join, and it turns out all any of those knights ever talk about is when are we going to get recognized as a real knighthood? When are we getting our titles in our land? Their High Justice wants to be an earl. Says it's Abaddon's will. He's got a castle and an army. You wonder how long he'll wait before he starts a war over it, saying Abaddon told him so. It does seem to me like some members do still take their ideals seriously. You see it with the older knights, some of them. They were taught differently. I feel for them, seeing all that slowly wearing away around them, with nothing to be done because the wrong people are in charge. Shame they don't have better people leading them. Alright. So, the Valiant Embassy awaits.